Hey, what is going on, guys? Xavier Cottle here, and today I'm going to be doing my weekly picks. This week we're doing week 14. There's going to be some great games in here, and I'm really excited for this week because it's going to be do or die for my Colts. Uh, Win, and you're pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot. Lose, and it's sink time. We got the destiny in our hands. We got the rest of our season in our hands. We just have to win this game. But before we get into the video, if you don't care, if you like weekly picks, if you like film analysis, drop a like, subscribe to my channel. I post weekly. I post daily, actually. 4 or 5 videos a week. I try to get as much content out as possible for anyone that loves NFL as much as I do. Yeah. But without further ado, let's get into this video here. Chiefs Dolphins. Give me the Chiefs. The Dolphins will kind of disrupt this game a little bit. You know, they'll do what they can. But I think ultimately the Chiefs will win this game. Xavier Howard's probably going to have a decent game. So that might limit Tyreek Hill. You know, Xavier Howard's probably the biggest playmaking corner in the league. I wouldn't say like the best. I wouldn't call him the best. I know he has the most interceptions, but I truly do not believe he is the best corner in the league. Jalen Ramsey or Jair Alexander would probably have that for me. Maybe Stephon Gilmore. I think there's a couple people better than him, but I think that he's really close and he is incredibly talented as well. Do not get me wrong. So I think he'll be able to do enough to limit Tyreek Hill in this Chiefs offense, because that's really whenever you see big scores, it's just Mahomes, Tyreek Hill blowing up, or Mahomes, Travis Kelce. There's just two options on this Chiefs offense that's going to eat these Dolphins alive, and it just, if one's not working, the other will. It's pretty much how it works every game. So I think the Chiefs will still win this, but the Dolphins will put up a good fight. I think the Dolphins will put up a good fight. I'm going to take Chiefs by 6. I'm going to take Chiefs by 7, 28-21, Chiefs. Titans, Jaguars. Give me the Titans. They're coming off a pretty bad loss to the Browns. They got back into it late in the game, but it's because the Browns let them. It really wasn't like the Browns were sitting there playing, trying to be strategic. They were just playing prevent. They're like, all right, if you want to take 5 and 10, waste the clock, you can do that. It's game over. And it was. The Browns did an excellent job of limiting their big plays in the first half. That's what the Titans are. They're big play offense. They are reliant on Derrick Henry busting 30-yard rushes. They're reliant on play action, Tannehill hitting A.J. Brown taking it for 25, 30 yards. That's what their whole offense is about. And if that doesn't happen, if a defense can limit them, like we saw the Colts in Week 10, like we saw the Browns in Week 13 limiting them, they're not going to do anything. That's just how the Titans are. Their defense isn't good. Vrabel needs to get a defensive coordinator over there ASAP, someone that's quality. But he doesn't. That's a big issue because they got playmakers on that defense. They're just not playing good. To be fair, they don't have a true edge rusher. That's a big issue for the Titans right now. If they had a good edge rusher, that defense would probably be a lot better. But they don't. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this offseason, but I think whenever we're talking about Titans versus Jags, this is not even going to be close, in my opinion. I think Titans will run all over them. Literally. Colts, Raiders, give me the Colts. I'm going to say Titans probably by 10. This shouldn't even be close. But Colts, Raiders, this is going to be a really good game, in my opinion. The Raiders kind of play to their competition. I don't know why. I don't know why the Jets were even close with them. Make it make sense to me. But yeah, I think the Raiders will have a big issue this game offensively. The Colts defense disrupts every game. We haven't seen a game where the Colts defense hasn't at one point in the game disrupted an offense. Even Titans last week for the Colts, or the week before, I should say. Even with all them injuries to the Colts defensive front or Corona outbreak, they still found a way in the second half to disrupt their offense. It was a really good performance by them in the second half. First half, it was really just too little too late. But the Raiders had this really incredible, consistent offense. Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, they got the playmakers. And then they got Derek Carr, of course. Henry Ruggs showed why he can be that deep threat against the Jets with a walk-off touchdown. This was an incredible game. Truly was an incredible game. And I think that, or that was an incredible game. I can't believe that the Raiders brought that back. But they did a good job doing that. They really needed that because without it, they were definitely going to be out of playoff contention if they lose this game. And again, if they lose this game this time, they're probably 100% out unless the Colts just go through a meltdown the rest of the season. But I don't think they will. I think they win this game. I think the Colts go on to make the wild card. Maybe even win the division if the Titans do have a meltdown, because I feel like the Titans are the more unstable of the two teams, in my opinion. But I'm going to take the Colts. I think Colts by 7. Maybe even 10. I don't think this Raiders squad is that good. We've seen them play poorly against good defenses this year. We've seen them play good against good defenses this year. It's hard to bet on them because of how inconsistent they are. And the Colts are one of the more consistent teams in the league, so I'm going to give it to the Colts. Steelers, Bills. Give me the Steelers. Now, I'm going to say this because the Bills have been really good this year. And offensively, they're 100% better than the Steelers. Stephon Diggs, Singletary, Zach Moss. Josh Allen's obviously the better quarterback than Ben Roethlisberger. Even though Big Ben's having a great season, he's just not – he don't have an arm like Josh Allen anymore. Josh Allen might have the strongest arm in the league. Josh Allen is much more mobile. And I think the Bills could upset them. This could be the Steelers' biggest win. This is a kind of a toss-up for me. I'm giving it to the Steelers, but it could go the other way. But the reason I think it's going to go towards the Steelers is because they're going to have turnovers. Josh Allen, I will almost say for a fact, will turn this ball over this game. The reason I say that is because the Steelers' defensive line is incredibly physical. They're incredibly talented. And they're going to get a push. They're going to get movement up front. And then once they get that movement up front, that's going to really disrupt their running game for the Bills. And once the Bills' running game is disrupted, it's going to be all on Josh Allen's shoulders. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if Josh Allen can deal with that. But we'll see. We'll see. He could prove me wrong, but I just have this feeling that this Steelers defensive line is going to destroy the Bills offensive line, even though they have been better this year. They signed their left tackle to a 4-year contract. He's a beast. They've definitely improved, but I don't know if they've improved enough to really compete with this Steelers D-line. And that's the majority of the league. If you want to know why their team is so good, that defensive line has been absolutely wreaking havoc all year. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see, but I got to give this one to the Steelers. I think they take this one if I'm going to bet money on it. I'll say Steelers by 3. This might be a squeaker. One of them turnovers I think will be pivotal in this win. Ravens, Browns. I'm going to go Ravens. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, why are you going Ravens? Browns are 9-3. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't think the Browns are that good. They beat the Titans. The Titans are incredibly inconsistent. Their defense is awful, as you can see. It's been awful all year. The Colts scored 34 on them. They came back 2 weeks later, scored 28. You know, their defense just isn't good. If you can't limit the Colts offensively, then you have an issue as a team. That's just my opinion about it. I just don't, I don't think their defense is that good. And then when you come over to the Ravens have lockdown corners. They have edge rushers. They have D1 techs. They have linebackers. Ravens have everything. They have a really consistent defense. They have a really well put together defense, and they have a really good defensive scheme. And like we saw week 1, I think we're going to see a repeat of this game. Like we saw at the Steelers versus Browns, like week 5, we're going to see a repeat. Week 5, week 6, we're going to see a repeat of this game. I don't think it's going to be close, even though the Ravens have played poor. They just came off a loss to the Steelers where they really limited the Steelers, and they almost beat them without Lamar Jackson. I think this Ravens team is still really good. Anyone doubting them, I don't think you guys know what you're talking about. I think this Ravens team is still a beast. Patriots, Rams. Okay, I'll say Ravens by 10. I'm pretty confident in this pick right now. Patriots, Rams. Give me the Rams. This is going to be a great game. 2 great coaches. 2 great football minds going at each other. Sean McVay, Bill Belichick. They faced each other in the Super Bowl once. It was a really low-scoring defensive game. I think it's going to be the same thing this game. I just think that the Rams just have so much more talent than the Patriots currently that it's not even going to matter really. The Patriots are literally just so talent deprived right now. It's kind of miraculous that Bill Belichick has still somehow won 6 games. You know, how's that happen? Like if you look at their front 7 defensively, my God, man, it's horrible. It's literally horrible. And then you go mostly because of the opt-outs and, people leaving, COVID, stuff like that. Last year it wasn't. This year it's pretty bad. It's pretty much practice squad players. Their secondary is really what makes them so good, and I think that's going to be a big issue for Jared Goff. I think Bill Belichick's going to scheme up some stuff that Jared Goff hasn't seen yet, and he's going to struggle against that. He's going to have some – against good coaches, Bill Belichick always pulls out some extra stuff. That's just how he is. He likes playing chess. That's just Bill Belichick. But I think Rams win this one, like I said. Too much talent to not win it. And I think the Rams win this one by, I'm going to say 6, especially at home. Texans, Bears. Give me the Texans. Bears are coming off a pretty horrible performance against the Lions. That was embarrassing. That should not have happened. If you are a Bears fan, I would be pissed. I would be angry, and I would be calling for Nagy's head. He needs to go. Nagy needs to go. Get him out of there, man. That being said, though, I still think that their defense is incredibly good. They'll disrupt the offensive plan of this Texans team. Deshaun Watson won't have the greatest day, but he'll still have a really great day. He's an elite quarterback after all. You can only slow them down. You can't stop them. That's just how it works. You see that with Aaron Rodgers. The only game I've seen from Aaron Rodgers that's been bad this year has been against the Buccaneers. And still yet, that was really fluke. If they played again, I don't think it would even be close. I think the Packers would win that game, especially seeing how the Bucs have played the last few weeks. But yeah, I think the Texans win this. I don't think, the Texans' defense is bad, but they're playing an even worse offense than the Bears. I think J.J. Watt will disrupt this Bears offense just a little bit. They haven't played good against any great pass rusher this year. I think the Texans take this one probably by 7. I'll say Texans by 7. Cowboys, Bengals. Give me the Cowboys. The Bengals without Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon are just doomed, in my opinion. I'm sorry. Any Bengals fans watching this, I don't hate the Bengals. I like Joe Burrow. I like what's your guy's young coach. He's one of the Kyle Shanahan. He's from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree, so I do have a lot of faith in your coach currently. So I think that you guys are going to be good in the next couple of years. It'll be cool to see, but right now, without your 2 best players, you're done for. So I think the Cowboys take this. I think Andy Dalton keeps his team on the tracks, keeps the train rolling, move the ball on 3rd down, 3rd and medium, 3rd and short against this, Bengals defense that isn't the best. It's not great. They need a new defensive coordinator, I'm going to be honest, because they got players. It's just poorly coached, in my opinion. A lot of scheme issues. Broncos, Panthers. Give me. This is a hard game to pick because I like Matt Rule. I like what this Panther squad has done, but their defense hasn't looked, spectacular this year. That's saying the least too. It hasn't been good. And this Broncos defense has been really consistent, has been good. They don't have CMC. The Panthers do not have CMC. So they're going to be without Christian McCaffrey. They're going to be without Mike Davis, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he's injured as well. So Robbie Anderson and Teddy Bridgewater versus a well-coached Broncos defense. And then playing against an undisciplined young Panthers defense that's going to be they're not undisciplined because Matt Rule's a good coach, but they're not ready. They're not there yet. And I think Drew Lock will be able to consistently move the ball against them with Jerry Jeudy. He has targets, Noah Fant. And I'll take the Broncos in this one by 3. Seahawks, Jets. Give me the Seahawks. Seahawks are a beast. I I think they're a little fraudulent just from being Super Bowl contenders. I don't think they're that. I think they're playoff contenders, but they're not Super Bowl contenders. I'm going to be honest with you. I call them beasts because their offense is just incredibly high powered. It's really amazing to see how well their offense works sometimes. You saw that against the Cardinals. That was a bad game from them. But still, yeah, I like the Seahawks team. I think they're incredibly talented. And then playing the Jets is not even going to be close. I'm going to say Seahawks by, I'll say 13. Like Seahawks by 13. Falcons, Chargers. Give me the Falcons. I was going to say stink well, but this isn't that bad, I guess. I think they got a lot of talent. I think they got a lot of. These are two pretty high-powered offenses. I think the Chargers definitely have the edge when it comes to being the better offense. But the Falcons' run defense has been really good this year, and I don't think this. If the Falcons still had Dan Quinn, I'd pick the Chargers, but they don't. Where the Falcons don't have Dan Quinn, they've been playing good ball the last, couple 2-3 weeks. I got to give this one to the Falcons. I think they'll find a way to beat them. The Falcons' run defense has been really good, so it's just going to be on Justin Herbert's shoulder. And I don't think he has what it takes to beat Matt Ryan in a shootout with Julio Jones and Austin Hooper, people of that, Calvin Ridley. I just think the Falcons got a little bit too much for the Chargers, and I'm going to take Falcons by 3. Vikings, Bucks. Give me the Bucks. I don't want to bet on the Buccaneers here. I know that might sound crazy, but Mike Zimmer's a great defensive mind, coaching-wise, and to be honest with you, the Buccaneers have struggled horribly against any defense they played, any good defense. You saw them struggle horribly against the Rams. You saw them struggle horribly against the team at the time that people were like, oh my God, this team's awful. Where are they at? Giants. Why couldn't I remember that? They struggled terribly against the Giants. They struggled terribly against the Saints. Like this Buccaneer squad, when they play good defense, folds. They fold. That coaching issue comes out. Bruce Arians, this is going to come to a head by the end of the season. Either Bruce Arians is going to get fired, they're going to bring a guy in that's going to really adjust more to Tom Brady, or they're going to fire Tom Brady and let Bruce Arians stay. Because it seems like Bruce Arians refuses to change his offensive scheme. I'm going to tell you something that's pretty shocking. Tom Brady, so 4 weeks ago, Tom Brady was a 35% deep ball thrower. So on deep throws, he was completing at a 35% percentage. Now, after them, so the last 4 weeks, he hasn't completed a single deep ball. So in the last 4 weeks, he is 0 for like 22 or 0 for 23. And then before that, he was at 35%. And keep in mind, Dak Prescott was completing them the last 2 years at like a 52%. So Tom Brady is just, in this scheme, that's not him. He's not this guy that gets back in the pocket and lets them go. Like, that's not Tom Brady. He's going to nickel and dime you. That's what he does. And, if the Bucs want to win this game, they're going to have to nickel and dime. Because the Vikings, they can contain the deep pass. They're not going to get gashed. And then their offense has got too much firepower to not move the ball. Their offensive line has came together. They've got 2 great tackles. They got a great center in Garrett Bradbury. So everyone in between there has help. You know what I'm saying? They got Kirk Cousins. He's played better the last, month or so. They got the best running back in football in Dalvin Cook. They got 2 fantastic receivers in Jefferson and Adam Thielen. This Viking squad, they've got talent, man. And it's really hard for me to bet against them right here, but I think the Buccaneers, they just got the most talent in the league. They got Ryan Jensen, Ali Marpet, Tristan Wirfs on that offensive line. Then they got the best receiving core in football. That's undoubted. Tom Brady, who, he's like 28-11 this year. I mean, he's not doing horrible. It's just deep passing is the issue. Gronk's been coming alive. He's actually, I think, the second in receiving yards for tight ends right now, other than Travis Kelce. I know George Kittle's not playing, but that's still pretty impressive for a guy that came out of retirement drinking Bud Lights every day of his life. And then they got that defense, of course. They got three really quality linebackers, two that are probably going to be Pro Bowlers. They got Dean at the corner. Like, they got a lot of talent. I know I'm rambling. They got so much talent. It's actually unreal how much talent they have. And the fact that they're 7-5 right now is that's an issue. But I'm going to say Bucks by 6. I think they'll just overpower them with their talent and get that win against a little bit of a depleted squad in the Vikings from last year or the year before. Cardinals, Giants. Give me the Cards. Cards are just, they're a wow team. Like, they're kind of boom or bust. They're kind of like the Titans, but their quarterback play is just a little bit better. Kyler Murray is just a lot quicker, so he can play in the pocket, and when he escapes, he can bust off a 40-yard rush like it's nothing. And I think that's going to be the winning factor here. The Seahawks just played the Giants. The Giants held them in check, and I think the Seahawks are a much more consistent offense too. But the Seahawks may be or Russell Wilson may be a good scrambling quarterback, but he don't do that. You know who does? Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray will move the ball on you whether you like it or not with his legs. And, Joe Judge, as much as I like him, he's not Bill Belichick. He will not be able to hold Kyler Murray in check, and I think that Kyler Murray will win the Cardinals this game just with his elite speed. Because Russell Wilson don't have elite speed. He has great speed. But when you're talking about elite speed, that's what Kyler Murray has. And I think that's going to be just enough of a wow factor to win them this game. Lions, Packers. Give me the Packers. Lions are coming off an impressive win. They fired Matt Patricia. They said, you're gone. He deserved it. And the Lions they're playing good. They played really well against a team that I picked to beat them last week. So that's pretty impressive. I really like seeing that from the Lions. I hope they keep it up. But when they play the Packers, they got to play against a defense that has playmakers. They got three really great players in Kenny Clark, Zadarius Smith, Jair Alexander. They got talent on that defense. And then when you go to the offensive side of the ball, of course, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. Like, they got Valdez Scantling. Even though he lost them that game against the Colts, that guy's got burners, man. He can turn it on. He can get up the field. He can stretch vertically. And I just don't think this Lions team will be able to play well enough to keep up with this Packers. Football team, Niners. Give me the Niners. Kyle Shanahan is just, Packers. Cardinals I'm going to say Cardinals by 3. I think the Giants will play them pretty close. And I'll say Packers by 7. Football team, Niners. I'm going to go Niners. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. He's a beast. He's just maybe the best coach in the league right now. Like, he's that good. If this Niners squad was healthy, they would definitely be contending for the Super Bowl. That's undoubted in my mind. They've dealt with a lot this year, and even with dealing with all of that turmoil and all of them issues, they're still sitting at 5-6. And after this game, I really think they're going to be 6-6. But still, yep. I think the football team will do a pretty good job disrupting their offense with just how good their defensive line is. Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Chase Young. This 49ers offensive line is good. I like Laken Tomlinson. I like Mike McGlinchey. But they're young. They're not ready for this absolute star power the football team has on the defensive line. And I think that's going to disrupt this 49ers team just enough just to keep this close. But I still think the Niners win this one by 3 at home. And I'm going to take them. Saints, Eagles. Give me the Saints. The Saints are a really talented squad. Their defense has been one of the best in the last month or so. At the start of the year, they played pretty poorly. Their defense looked bad. Everyone was like, what's wrong? Now their potential is really showing. We knew what their defense would be. It just took a while. COVID season, all that stuff. And they've really came alive. And I think they win this game by 10. Eagles are in turmoil. They need to get rid of what's his name? Their coach, Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson's got to go. Just how it works. He's got to go. He's not a good coach. We've seen ever since 2017, the Eagles squad has been horrible. Um, and it shows that Frank Reich was really the lifeblood of their offense because their offense has been stale, been horrible. They're benching Carson Wentz right now because of how bad they've been, but there's no consistency to that offense. He's playing hero ball, yeah, I get that, but what the hell else is he supposed to do? Go out there and lose with their shitty scheme? Yeah. People don't recognize that. Oh, their scheme is awful. Well, he should be. What should he do? Should he just lose? He's that's why I like Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers didn't matter who was his coach. Even if their scheme was bad, he would still try to win. He didn't give a fuck about no interceptions. Carson Wentz don't either. And I hope to God they get rid of Carson Wentz and he comes to the Colts. I would take Carson Wentz on the Colts in a heartbeat because under Frank Reich, he will put him in positions to win. He will keep him out of them situations where he has to roll out of the pocket and the only option he has is someone deep, and he has to throw into double coverage. That's he's just trying to win. I get that, and he's playing poorly because of that. I get that. He shouldn't be doing that. But at the end of the day, he wants to win. He's trying to win. And you can't fault him for that, especially because his team's put him in that position to be losing. But that's all I got for you guys. If you like content like this, if you like weekly picks, you like predictions, you like team tier rankings, you like film analysis, if you like the NFL, drop a subscribe on my channel. I post content on a daily basis. Weekly I post 4 or 5 vids. I get content pumped out. But yeah, like I said, if you like the content, drop a like, drop a subscribe. But until next time, guys, peace.